Hey guys, and welcome back to the Kav And Drew show. I am your host, Cave, and I'm here with.
Drew, what's good? What's good?
I am very, very excited that we got to get this one out really quickly because this is such an important episode. I really love this show. I thought it should have been released a little earlier since it's around spooky time. October. But it's been breaking records around Netflix, and it's just I can't say enough of good things about it.
No, absolutely not. So the topic of today's episode is going to be Wednesday. So great show overall. I know that there was a lot of reviews where people were saying it was very like how do I say it? Very high school tweenie vibes. She's going to school.
Right.
Like, I can't stress that enough. So you're going to get that. Not to mention, she's still a teenager. So you can't expect to watch Wednesday and not get a teenage aspect of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like we're watching, the old show from way back then, the black and white show, which is also fucking great. Don't get me wrong. Or the movies from the mid to late 90s, which was Addams Family Values.
Right, played by Christina Ricci.
Exactly,
So...
it did fucking fantastic. Those movies were great.
Right.
But we never got to see Wednesday fully fledged out as far as her teenagehood goes.
Mm-hmm.
So this is kind of the first time we were able to see it.
Right. I love the show, man. I knew it was gonna be something big. I knew I just love the twist that was given to it. Jenna did such a phenomenal job.
Oh my god.
Big shout out.
Can we let's just take a moment. Jenna, Queen. Good job.
That's future.
Great job.
Future screen queen.
Listen, if you don't know, background of Jenna, one of her first appearances was in Insidious Chapter 2 as a little girl. At the end of that movie. I didn't even know that until I recently watched it.
What?
I didn't even know that.
I just saw Insidious too, so she's the little girl.
She's the little girl at the end of the movie.
Wow. Okay.
So there's that. If you're a fan of the Babysitter films, I really like them on Netflix. They're very comedic, but they're friggin' great. She's in the sequel, Killer Queen, and she did a fantastic job in that.
Yes.
Then, of course, earlier this year, she was in Scream 5. Amazing.
Yes.
Amazing. Great movie, great performance. A little after that, she did Studio 666, which was Foo Fighters' horror movie.
Yes.
Cave, I know you haven't seen it yet. We'll watch it. It is fantastic.
But I got to see the other one that you're about to name too.
Yeah. She was also in a little movie called X.
Yeah.
And X, fantastic. Start for October, perfect time. I showed a few friends, including Cave here. He loved it.
I'm not gonna lie, this made us kind of like excited because just as horror buffs, we get to see basically a future screen queen in development right now.
She's literally going. Like, girl, you got Scream, Studio 666, Insidious, Killer Queen, Babysitter Killer Queen, and like X, and now you have Wednesday under your belt as well. She is just on track to become one of our newer faces in the Scream Queen fandom.
Yes,
it's happening, and I can't wait to see her do more horror. Like, she shines in horror, and she's even said it herself in interviews that she just loves horror movies. So it fucking works.
I am so happy about this, right? So I'm really happy that we have the Latinx community being represented finally. Originally, people were really, I don't even know how to even judge people anymore because they were mad about Gomez being Latino and very chubby. And that's how he naturally is. He's just not a very attractive person. No disrespect to, of course, Luis Guzman, but he was just never going to be eye candy.
Gomez has never been eye candy.
Never.
The only one that's ever been eye candy in that relationship was Morticia.
Right, exactly.
Gomez always had like the broken buttered teeth, the weird looking hairstyle. Yeah, like if you're like, I want a hot Gomez, you're not gonna get it.
No,
it's not happening here. And Luis Guzman did a fantastic job as Gomez. He did what he was given.
Exactly, and being four of the main roles in this, having this Latino spice in there, I love the fact that they threw in representation finally.
Yeah,
even Wednesday Addams as her being her roots, where she came from, everything. I love it so much.
Right, I love it a lot. I like that the majority of them are from Latin descent. Most of their actors' background: Catherine Zeta, Luis Guzman.
Yeah. How can you forget Catherine Zeta-Jones?
Yeah, like
Mask of Zorro.
We haven't seen her in so long. At least I haven't seen anything recently with her. So I'll say that. So the fact that I got to see her on the show, I was like, holy shit. And she still looks great.
She looks great.
My God.
Luis Guzman, of course, great as well.
Oh, hilarious.
Oh my God.
As always.
I love it. I do want to mention also like some like really good facts. I'm pretty sure you want to throw some in there too, but I just want to give them a congratulations because first week, 341 million views.
Surpassing Stranger Things 4.
Yeah.
And Stranger Things 4 was big.
Yo.
It's a big deal.
It caught me off guard. I didn't know it was going to be that big. I knew it was going to be a big project for them, but
for sure.
Congrats, Tim Burton.
Yeah.
Congrats.
Congratulations, Tim Burton. Congratulations, Netflix, for picking it up for sure. And congratulations to that whole cast and crew because, man, you guys did a good job. And I really, really hope, like, we can't commend you enough as fans of that Addams Family franchise growing up with it and for fans all over the world, like, who enjoyed this show.
Right.
I really hope that we get the green light on season 2. I'm pretty sure. You know what? I'm just going to throw it out there. I'm 99.9% sure they're going to green light the second season. The cast and crew, I'm sure, are already ready. I think the directors or creators have already said they have penned ideas already ready for the season 2.
Right. They say they have it in a vault. They're just waiting for the right time to shoot.
That's it. So, Netflix,
get
on the ball game.
Get on that.
Because y'all making bank off of this, and it's a great show, and I really want to see more. There's so much more story to tell with this.
Yeah, man. Another fun fact that I want to throw out there is that I did my little investigating, and Jenna actually had to learn how to play cello for this role.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah, and that was. I mean, as a music fan, I'm like, yes.
Yeah, like, can you? And that whole scene when she was playing it, I don't know the exact name of the song, so kill me now, musicians out there.
I think it was either Beethoven or, yeah, it had to be Beethoven, I believe.
Great song. Yeah. I love that song. I don't know my classical music like that to know like the name of it, but she did a fantastic job. Her rendition of it. Right. I love the scenery of when she played it too. She went through the window of her little dorm room, and then like she sat there outside in the rain, just rocking it. I was like, man, this is great stuff.
Speaking of the window, you know how it was cut between Enid's room and hers?
Yes.
So very fun fact about that. That was actually influential because they took that inspiration from the Wicked Broadway show.
Makes sense.
So
you could totally see that.
Yeah.
You could totally see it. You got the good and the bad, good and the evil.
Good and the evil,
so, there's a lot of little tidbits on this show, man, that are just really fantastic. How they really kind of captured it for you, the imagery of everything and the meaning behind a lot of stuff.
Yeah, man, I love it. Something else. So they kind of mentioned this in like some of the interviews with Jenna, but Jenna rarely blinks.
She really doesn't blink that much.
Yeah,
yeah, she really doesn't, because even in the other projects that we've seen her in, her characters that she plays. Never fucking blink.
Never. And I think that made it so special because they had discussions with Tim Burton. So they found out a way for her to make her look kind of mischievous without the blinking, So they had her kind of stare through her eyebrows in a way, kind of tilt her head down.
Like that, like a slight tilt. And then she, I don't know, man. She just did this whole thing with her face.
Yeah.
That just worked for the character. Just completely worked.
Yes, and she's just as dry as how she is in the show, which is just that's perfect. That's perfect for me. I love it.
Another little thing that I was seeing too, looking into like the behind the scenes stuff, is how like she was such a fan of Gwendolyn Christie. Like, she's super obsessed with her. She's like, I want to marry her. Like she even said that in one of her interviews. And like, there's pictures of them just goofing off on set. It's just so damn cute, man.
I love it.
It's cute, and I love that. Like, that's how you know, like, they really had a good time. And shout out to Gwendolyn Christie. She's been killing it, bro.
Yes, just big shout out to Principal. I believe, what's her name? Principal Weems.
Yes. Miss Larissa Weems. She did a really good job. Of course, we all love her in Game of Thrones as Brienne of Tarth.
Yes.
Did a great job on there. Just anything she's in. She even dipped her toes with Star Wars as Phasma. Fortunately, we didn't get to see Phasma as much as we wanted, but, just her presence, like, she's just all in the pop culture stuff, and I love it. Keep giving her these roles, please.
She actually mentioned that this was actually one of her first roles that she felt like she was beautiful because, having such rugged roles like, Brienne of Tarth and...
it was nothing to really showcase her beauty. And she's a pretty woman. Like, if you see her on her red carpet events and stuff, she spruces up very well.
Yes.
So, shout out to her. She's enjoying that glamour, queen. Get it.
Yes, work that height.
Queen. Yes!
Oh, my God. Oh, and last but not least, I just want to throw one last fun fact out there. So Nevermore Academy.
Mm-hmm.
The name was inspired because they always throw like references from Edgar Allan Poe.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so that name actually came from The Raven, obviously, and
My favorite.
one of your favorite stories
that's
from.
one of my favorites from him.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's great, man.
Yeah.
It came together really nicely. And I was excited.
Yeah, like again, should have came out in October.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what was the reason for pushing it back. Maybe they had other releases, but it just the vibe of that show was October.
Yeah.
It didn't feel like a show to release around Thanksgiving to me. I mean, thank you for releasing it regardless, but you know, October just would have been ideal for it because of I guess just the darkness of the show. It's a very gloomy show, man.
It really is.
Rain, a lot of dark color palettes going on.
Mm-hmm. You could tell it was a Tim Burton film. Like,
oh my god,
just
yes.
by looking at it.
100%. And you know what? I don't mind that. Tim Burton's great. He's a master of crafting that gloom feeling and look. So he did a pretty good job because Addams Family, to me, besides it always having comedic elements, has always had that little bit of gloom to it, especially once they started doing those movies in the 90s.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, bro. Actually, I want to tell you guys that it's not the last time we're gonna see Jenna and Percy on the same screen. Like Xavier Thorpe and Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
I believe they have a movie in works that's gonna release soon.
I don't know like what it's gonna be about. Mm-hmm. I've just heard that they're working on something.
Right.
And Xavier, I know him. What's the actor's name that plays Xavier?
Oh, his name is. I'm actually looking at my notes right now, bro. So it's. Woo, where is it? Percy Hines White.
Percy Hines White.
Yeah.
I know him from The Gifted. That used to play on Fox. Which was like that X-Men show.
Okay.
So he was one of the main family members on that show. And he was, I guess, one of the more powerful mutants on that show. So that's where I recognize him from. I did like that show a lot. Sad that they canceled it. But, you know, we move on from there.
Right, man. I love it, man. So they actually had some talks kind of getting away from like the Wednesday show. Enid Sinclair, played by Emma Myers, they were in talks that they had like a little photo, kind of teasing, fans wanted to make her Gwen Stacy as Gwen Spider eventually. I think that's a phenomenal, casting, but
she's got the look. I always appreciate a fan cast, especially a good one, because sometimes those things do come to fruition. So keep fan casting it up, fans.
Yeah, man.
I do it sometimes too. Hey,
I love it.
Why not? All right, so let's kind of get into certain things about this show, man, because there's a lot to talk about. We'll kind of summarize some of the stuff, obviously. Cave, let's start with you. What did you think, I guess, the opening of the show? The whole Pugsley getting bullied scene.
They said that the opening, there are some scenes that are throwaway in the show. I'm not sure exactly which ones exactly. But just since beginning to end, it just landed it for me.
Yeah. And that's perfectly fine. If it doesn't land for everyone, that's okay. I thought the show was great too. So.
Yeah. There's certain scenes, like, for example, of seeing certain characters thrown in there, such as Uncle Fester, and seeing Wednesday's reaction to him. It just made her, the first time I saw her smile throughout the whole show.
She loves her Uncle Fester. Yeah. And I love Thing also.
I
really like that Thing played a huge presence throughout the show. Like, he was there from the beginning, helping her with her whole investigation to uncover who this monster, they revealed later was called a Hyde.
Give Thing a medal, because he's been the best supported character throughout the whole show.
I swear, he legit, he was. And I really like the design of him on this show, because he had like stitching going on throughout his fingers and the palms of his hand and stuff. I know back in the day they had him, but he didn't really have the stitching on him.
Right.
So I like that Tim Burton made sure to give him some type of creep feel to it.
Right.
Yeah.
I love the stitching too, man, as well. I look forward to seeing other characters from the Addams Family too. Like, for example, what you call it, Auntie, the one with the hair.
Oh my God, yes, I forgot the name. I'm sorry.
I see as well,
but like, there's other members that I'm pretty sure if this show continues, we'll probably get them.
Yeah.
Because given that most of this show took place from Wednesday's perspective, I mean, it's called Wednesday, obviously, but most of it took place at Nevermore. Of course, they weren't going to show the family as much. They did still show them quite a few times throughout the show. They had a presence regardless. But I like the fact that it kind of gave us more or less her perspective. So if they decide to greenlight it for another season, now that she's kind of gone from Nevermore. Like, her time is done. She left the school already. I'd like to see where they go for it next. Are they going to send her to another school? Is she just going to be having antics at home? You know, are we going to see more of the family? Like,
right. How are they going to do about that? And what are they going to do, spoiler alert, with the hide after all, you know?
Right, because by the end of the show, you know, when it was revealed that Christina friggin' Ricci, which shout out because I love that she was brought in on the show, you know, with her playing Wednesday back in the day, with her being Marilyn Thornhill being literally the main antagonist, which I had a feeling that she had something to do with it, because my theories when I was watching it, of course, was that Tyler was always the monster, only because the first time that they show it, from Wednesday's perspective, you can see Tyler's hair, the scruff hair. Right, and I was just like, okay, so it has like weird looking hair. And then when you see a scene with Tyler again and you look at his hair, it's the same type of hair.
It's the same. They gave subtle hints in there. I thought for 1 second, I thought it was going to be Den Mother, because just the way that her, you know, her eyes kind of bulge a little bit.
Yeah, she had the bulgy eyes, and she was very mysterious in a way.
Right.
So it would have made sense also if it was her. And even then, she still had something to do with it. And that's what I like. You know, so even if you had an idea that, oh, maybe she's the monster, she was still the one behind everything with friggin' Tyler. So I really like that. Like, I also had a theory that it could be Xavier, but then I also didn't want to go with that theory because they always do this. They take a character, make them look like the bad guy the whole time to wind up not being the bad guy at the end. And that's what I felt like they were doing with him.
Absolutely. The pictures were a little too obvious. He was painting,
you know. He kept painting it. So I was just like, are you the fucking monster? Like, what is this?
Right.
But then when you were like, oh yeah, and then when he reveals his powers that he can make his drawings come to life, it's like, so you're drawing the monster. Could the monster be coming to life from that? Like, they're trying to get you to believe that it's him, which I think they did a good job with. But at the same time, I was like, it's going to be too cliche if it's him because they've done this a lot in a lot of past, you know, movies or shows. So I'm like, no, it's got to be Tyler.
Yeah,
and it was Tyler.
I want to give a big shout out to Christina Ricci. Reason why is that they asked her, like, did she have any hand in like giving Jenna any tips during the role? And, you know, funny enough, after thinking maybe she'd have a hand in it, she didn't. She said that she wanted that character to flow naturally for Jenna, and Jenna seemed very assertive about the role. So I love the twist that she gave the character, you know?
No, she made it her own. Yeah. Her own version of Wednesday. They're distinctly different, her and Christina Ricci's portrayals, and I think that's a great thing. Like, don't do a copy and paste. If this is like a new type of Wednesday project, make it its own thing.
Make it, yep, exactly. Yeah, man, I love it, bro.
Yep. And then like other characters we can mention, I really like it within like the first episode. You know, besides seeing Pugsley getting bullied and her, you know, saying screw these water polo boys and throwing fucking piranhas at the fucking pool.
Oh my god.
You know, like, I like that because it's just like, yeah, that is her brother, and of course she's gonna defend him, but she's gonna defend him in her way.
Right.
Where her way being some type of dark and goth style thing to do, which couldn't have been perfect in having fucking piranhas eat one of the balls of the water polo boys.
Oh my god. I'm surprised she's not in jail, but you know what? You know.
Like, expelled. Like, no, real life, you would have got really in trouble for that type of shit. But that was a great way for me for them to like open it. I was like, okay, this kind of got my interest already, you know? And then kind of seeing that, I liked that relationship between her and Pugsley, and I really liked how, you know, Morticia and Guzman were like, you know, we're going to send you to this school because, you know, it's where we went as kids. So I'm just like, okay, so this school has to be super freaking interesting if they went there at some point.
In a way, I like the fact that she didn't want to live in her mother's shadow because Morticia was kind of like the queen of the school at the time. You know, she
was like Miss Popular.
Yeah, she was the head of every club, even the occult club that they found out about, you know, and just a phenomenal.
Yeah, no, and I really like that. Like, I like that there was kind of like a strain between her and her mother's relationship because you can tell that she has a better, I think probably the best relationship, obviously, is with her uncle.
Right.
But she has a better relationship with her dad than her mom, for sure. You see it throughout, you know, the series.
Even Pugsley.
Yeah, even Pugsley. So, like, I was just like, it's sad because you see it on Morticia's face that she's definitely hurting her. the way she's saying certain things or the way she talks. But then later she appreciates her mother nonetheless. Her mother gives her a necklace and she holds onto it the whole season.
Yeah.
And that shows you right there, like, she does care for her mother. She's just being a fucking teenager.
No, that's it. That's it. You know, part of adolescence.
Growing up. So I really like that. I really like the fish out of water scenario for her. I always like to see that when a person will be at a location where they're just like, I'm completely different than what the hell is being presented here. I like that her uniform is distinctly just black.
Yes.
Compared to everyone's purple and black striped uniform. I thought that was really cool. And I do like that they drew her in with her roommate, which was
Enid?
Yeah, with Enid. How Enid was so bubbly and happy. She had such a colorful personality as a werewolf, which was also pretty cool that she was a wolf. I thought that was nice. And then Wednesday's just like, yeah, no, I have to write this. No, I'm taking this thing off the window. Like, this is my side. Like, I like how they had that little phase of, like, Butting heads, yes. And then, like, eventually, you know, coming together. Like, hanging out more.
I love that. I love the fact that they threw her in with other types of categories and species. Like, to me, like the siren.
The siren.
The what was it? The Medusa.
The Gorgons.
The Gorgons, you know.
Gorgons. And that's one thing I really enjoyed. Going into the show, I didn't think they were going to do that. I thought maybe it was just going to be a normal school, but just a school for people more or less who were like Wednesday.
Right.
You know, but no, they added a whole like, oh, like you got different groups, cliques, different type of monster backgrounds. And then even Wednesday herself having, you know, the visions, which I thought was really cool as well.
Yeah, her mom also had them too.
Yeah, I like that was passed down. That made her distinct, and that actually gave her an ability as well.
Yeah.
You know?
I thought the show had an incredible villain too, man. Like, what was it, Crackstone? Being like the main villain, and you know, it's to me, I haven't really felt a good villain in a minute, because the only time I really felt that was basically during Stranger Things with Vecna, being like one of the very dangerous villains that everybody was scared of. Like, I had a feeling they were gonna resurrect Crackstone, but him being this vicious, and you know, I'm actually excited to see what they do with season 2. Maybe they'll bring him back. Maybe there's other evils out there we don't know about.
Well, we know Tyler's still out there.
Yeah, that's true.
So, like, and he was transforming as the scene closed out for that last episode. Right. So it's pretty safe to assume he escaped wherever they were taking him or trying to take him. So he's still out there. There's still definitely more story to tell with that. I was really sad, like, when Marilyn freaking killed Principal Weems. Like, Principal Weems was never an annoying character to me. I just felt like she was just doing her job.
Yeah. As much of a, you know,
she was persistent. I know that.
Yes. But, you know, to me, they also probably killed her off, but I think it would have been a nice opportunity if they left her for season 2. Maybe not kill her off too early.
I didn't think that she was going to die either. Like, I thought maybe she was going to get poisoned, and maybe they're going to cure her. And then when we found out, no, it's like deadly poison. I'm like, oh shit, they killed her, man. Yeah. Like, Marilyn legit like syringed her fucking neck, and that's it, like, done. So that was a shocker to me, because I was like, man, like, I really wanted to see more of Principal Weems. Like, I even wish we got to see a little more of her background. Like, I was very interested in her character.
Right, maybe more like foreshadowing or like throwbacks of her and Morticia at the school. You know,
I really wanted to see that. Like, I had wished, if the show ran for maybe 2 more episodes or so, like at least 10 episodes, because I know it was only 8, they could have dedicated a good chunk of an episode to the backstory, and I thought that wouldn't have been a bad thing. They didn't do it, and that's fine. Maybe they could do it in a future season where Morticia maybe goes and tells Wednesday a story one time from her time at the school, and with her and Miss Weems. Like, it would have been nice, but, you know, it's okay. You gotta have your villains. You gotta have your assholes.
Yeah, man.
You know? Another thing that I really liked is the scene where she did her fencing.
Oh, didn't she have to train for that role too as well?
She did. She did train in fencing. I did see an interview where she was talking about it, and she was fighting against the Siren, Bianca, who's also Xavier's ex-girlfriend, which is really interesting. And I like the fact that Wednesday kind of gave that, like... What's the best way to describe her attitude in that scene? Like fuck you. I'm taking the lead here.
Right.
Right. And she lost.
I don't care what who puts you as queen, but you're gonna get
yeah. Like I'm gonna draw blood. Like, we're gonna draw blood here. And she lost. And I thought that was really cool that she did lose because it shows that she has someone who's like a little edgier than her, which kind of brings them together later anyways when they're both trying to figure out who the Hyde is and they actually discover that it's Tyler.
Right.
So it was pretty cool. Like now she has Bianca in, you know, that group setting where it's just like she's not really an enemy to her anymore.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. Friendly competition. I love that scene, especially when they were doing the canoe and the competition.
Oh my God, in little cat outfits.
Yeah.
And what I really like about that scene is how they all had gimmicks to try to take each other out on the water.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
Really, really cool. I'm curious also, mentioning now that Bianca, she has a mom that's also tied to like a cult. I wonder how that's going to tie in now with Wednesday's parents. Maybe they throw them in there and get them involved.
They could, because Bianca's mom is like very, like cultish and like wants her to come home with her and this and that. And she clearly doesn't want any part of that life. So I can understand kind of why her attitude and mindset is the way it is when she's at Nevermore, because she just feels welcomed or more at home there, I guess, for her character. Whereas with her mom's just kind of controlling every aspect of her life. It's very toxic. So I really enjoyed that. I also really liked seeing that storyline with Enid, where, you know how she was having trouble wolfing out. I kind of had like a theory that maybe that had to do with her hitting her puberty, maybe.
Oh, that could be it.
Because, you know, like maybe she was a late bloomer, which obviously she was, to turn into a wolf, because some were getting their powers a little earlier. So I was like, maybe that ties to her being a teenager. Maybe she just has to wait a little longer.
Right.
You know, for her to for her wolfing out to happen.
And you see that relationship with her mom, too. It isn't the best relationship.
That's what I was just going to mention also. Like, I really enjoyed the fact of how she stood up to her parents, because her parents' whole thing was like, oh, you have to wolf out. Well, when are you going to wolf out? Or when are you going to do?
Right.
It's like, it has to come when it comes.
Right.
She's trying her best. The only piece of werewolf that's really happening to her right now is just her nails. Right. Which I thought was really funny every time they would show them.
Yeah, it was just the nails. Yes. Oh my God. It shows also like individuality. Like she didn't really she wanted her pack. Obviously she wanted to wolf out, but you know, there's nothing wrong with being like a lone wolf either. I mean, she was already an outcast. You know, she's being bullied by Bianca and these other people.
Yeah, so. And like, it's just like she really didn't have much of a way to defend herself besides the little retractable claws.
Right.
And again, like once she woofed out, like this is a whole new aspect of her to discover of herself. And also, like, shout out to them putting the little colorful hair as her in a wolf form. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
it definitely showed it was Enid. And shout out to her in general, dude. If it wasn't for her, Wednesday would have had a lot of trouble dealing with the Hyde on her own. Like, she really came through and saved her. But yeah, like, Enid, shout out to Enid, man. She really came through. And I thought it was a really heartfelt moment. Because the show, when you really think about it, it's like a gothic mystery. Who done it?
Right. It's kind of like the game, like who murdered?
Like, who's been killing people? Who's the Hyde? Like, who's behind that the whole time? And I like that Wednesday kicked in her investigative skills to do it. I like that she was a writer. I really enjoyed the aspects because I do like writing.
It's the typewriter for me.
Yeah, like the typewriter. I dedicate an hour to writing every day. Like, I love that. Right? I'm like, you know what? That's awesome. That is so cool. And the fact that she has the typewriter, like you said, it's a nice little detail. Like, she probably just doesn't give a shit about modern tech.
Yeah.
So it was really nice to see that.
I wonder, because they were speculating some stuff. Sorry to cut you off. They were speculating also, like, now that she has a phone since Xavier gave it to her,
right?
They're thinking they might give it to. They mentioned a little part of this that thing might actually have like a modeling career or something like that, and I thought that was hilarious.
OnlyFans for Thing.
OnlyFans for Thing. Do you imagine, yo? Just like, oh yeah, you like that cuticle? Come and subscribe.
Here, I'm gonna my nails are painted today.
Oh, look at that! Subscribe.
Oh man, that'll be great. Oh man, Thing trying to take a selfie. Oh my fucking god.
She basically Wednesday just like, here's my phone. Here, you do whatever you want.
I'm definitely curious to see where they go with that. Like, cause I thought it was interesting to see Wednesday even kind of open up to Tyler the way she did.
She has major PTSD now, man. I feel so bad for her.
I do too, because now to me it seems like she's not gonna fucking trust any guys going forward. Like, she's good, bro, because he really opened a side of her that you would never have really thought you'd see, like the way she was feeling, the way he made that date for her in a crypt with Legally Blonde as a horror movie.
Oh, that was you could tell. Yo, I would have been suffering too. Like, oh man.
Fun fact about that: Reese Witherspoon there's a TikTok of her actually watching that scene. And her reaction is so damn priceless. She couldn't stop laughing. So it's great. And then, them having the first kiss. It's just insane. It's like, okay, she opened herself up to then get that damn bomb in her vision that he's the Hyde.
Yeah. Let me ask you something. I know it's a little controversial to talk about this. I didn't mean to get you blindsided. What did you think about, these rumors saying, like, because they did mention Jenna would have ended up with Enid or something like that. And I get it. You guys, don't get me wrong. Don't come after me after this. But it's just it's being thrown away around a lot, and there's nothing wrong with it. No. It's just I think we should stop sexualizing so much.
We don't have to sexualize everything.
Right.
Not everything needs to be sexualized, and that goes for any type of media form, video game, fucking comic book, fucking anime, fucking animated shows, anything. Like, you don't have to sexualize stuff. That's like fan service. 100% an anime. It's like, we love the anime regardless. You have your fan base, but sometimes it's just too much.
Yeah, man. I would have been okay with Wednesday being asexual or something, or but it just seems like the modern thing to do now because it's trending. It's just throwing the sexuality in there, man. Why?
100%. Like, again, it's okay and have your inclusion. It doesn't bother me, but we can't assume that every single character we know what they're.
Right.
What they want. Like, yeah, like what their identity is. Like, oh, no, she's totally gay. Like, she's 100%. No, that's not how it works. Can we just, like, see how it plays out before we do that? It's okay if people wanted Wednesday and Enid. That was probably their ship.
Yeah.
Every right to have that ship.
It's a good ship.
It's not a bad ship. But I actually see them more in the light of sisters now.
Yeah.
They're very close. They had butted heads a lot, but now they're close as shit. Like, at the end, she gave her a hug. When she was super hesitant to hug her at the beginning, and she gave her a hug. And it was a long hug, too, because she saved her. So it's just like, all right, that's just her being a friend, being like a sister to her. Like, they went through a lot together, and they grew together.
Yeah, man. I'm glad I brought it up, too, because people are very hesitant of bringing up that type of topic on pods.
It's totally okay to bring it up. Again, no problem. If they were to do that, still wouldn't have had an issue with it. I wouldn't have cared. I'd be like, okay, cool. But at the same time, it's just like, the way they were going with their characters, to me, I didn't really see romantic interest or spark anywhere with that.
Right.
I saw more of like best friends, sisters.
Right. After a while, it gets old, Netflix. That's just a message to y'all. Like, sometimes it gets old to get that stuff thrown down your throat because it is something that sells or you're taking advantage. It just sometimes feels like that,
Like, I get it. And us saying this will probably have people say like, oh, but then there's like too much hetero and stuff. Listen, entitled to your opinion. I'm not here to start an argument or a debate. I'm just saying, like, we can't assume the sexual identity of everyone is automatically this.
Right.
Because sometimes it doesn't go that route, and that's okay.
Yeah.
And even then, if they do go that route, sometimes people still aren't satisfied. So it's like, what do we do then? It's like teetering a fucking seesaw to try to satisfy everyone.
At the end of the day, are we here to tell a story, or are we here worried about what the other person does?
Like, let's just watch stuff to watch it, man. And then see how things flow naturally. Like, just, again, entitled to your ships. Hey, have a ship with her and Enid. That's fine with me. There's probably fan art of them out there. I 100% sure there is.
Yeah.
But I'm okay. Like, I was also totally okay with her not even getting in a relationship with anyone.
Right.
Like, Wednesday's Wednesday. She's more of that character that to me is just like on her own, doing her own shit, and that's it.
Right.
But we have to talk about that one episode, though.
Which one?
We gotta talk about the dance scene. Because this dance scene was fucking fantastic.
All right, hear me out before y'all come after me, man. Don't be overplaying this Goomuk song, please.
I know it like super blew up after this. Like, it's such a thing to do the dance now on TikTok.
Listen,
it's crazy.
I've only known a little bit about the Cramps. I heard of Goo Goo Muck before, but I just love it. I love the fact that soundtracks are now in the forefront now to these big Netflix stuff.
And classical music is fantastic.
Yes.
It's always nice to hear old school stuff. Like, I love watching horror movies that try to, I guess when the director tries to go more of the classical route. For example, X, Ty West's X earlier this year. It looked like a 70s movie. It felt like a 70s movie. The music was 70s. The clothes, everything, the look of every character. Right. Even when, you know, for those who didn't know it, I mean, I'm pretty sure everyone's seen X by now. You know, the plot of the movie is them shooting a porno. Back in the 70s, porno was blowing up. It was on like super uprise. So even the equipment that they were using looked like equipment from back then.
Bulky ass cameras,
So to me, like, that's an imperfect embodiment of bringing in classic stuff today. And I like that. So I really enjoyed that about that episode, her dancing to that song. I thought it was perfect. It fit her.
I loved her choreography.
Yes. And shout out to Jenna, man. She did that whole dance herself. She was super nervous to do it.
She was sick.
She was sick with COVID.
Yeah.
Like,
I had no idea until they showed like that picture from behind the scenes where everybody was kind of surrounding her.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And then they were like, I guess after they had gotten the positive test back, which was like right after they filmed the scene came out so good they didn't need to reshoot it.
Right.
And then they went ahead and they quarantined her right away and nobody else got sick.
Yeah,
so they did a good job. COVID protocols, good job on the set.
Yeah, man.
That's all I could say. But, you know, like that scene right there is fucking great, man. We've never seen Wednesday in that type of thing. Like light. Like her, like, letting loose like that.
Yeah, and who knew she had the moves? Like, they were a little creepy. I'm not gonna lie to you, but
it fit.
It was good creepy.
It fit.
Yeah.
It fit for her. And I like how, like, you can see the reaction of everyone else at the dance. Like, Enid smiling and surprised to see her letting loose.
I like the fact that she took those moves from the Scene Kids, man.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. And I do like how, like, she kind of did the little claw thing where she was moving closer to Tyler and he was doing that little cheesy hip thrust. That shit was stupid.
Yo, buddy.
But, you know, overall, the scene was great. And I like how they actually zoomed in to show a shot of Principal Weems smiling because she's seeing her actually, like, have fun for the first time and open up. Not be so timid in how she was closed off at the beginning.
Yeah, very stiff.
Because I never thought that she was going to do something like that. And then I loved, like, her look. That dress, man. That's perfect.
That dress was killer.
It worked for her.
Killer, yes.
You know, I was like, okay.
Yeah. Gave me, like, Corpse's Bride vibes.
It's very goth.
Yeah.
But it worked. It worked. So, did that.
Bravo.
Good job, Jenna Ortega. Good job. Bravo. It was an excellent scene.
She's only, what, 20?
She's only 20. She's great. She's got a bright future ahead.
Listen, I'm gonna hear me right now, bro. Eventually, we'll meet. I'm just kidding, y'all, but it would be a pleasure.
Tone it down there, Cave.
Sorry. It would be a pleasure to meet you in the future. No,
for sure. Even at a convention, like, not gonna lie, Jenna, if we were ever to go at a con and you were there, I would literally bow and bow to just be like, you are a scream queen. It's happening.
I never knew what, you know, she's a role model, man. Like, for a lot of people that are coming up now, and I know where talent is, man. I know how talented she is, so bravo to that. Bravo to the crew, man. Those big hitters. Come on now, like.
And, you know, don't ever let anyone tell you that you can't do it because We Latins is coming up.
Yeah,
we's making moves, so I love to see that.
We'll leave this for another episode, but Black Panther 2, come on now.
Wakanda Forever, full dissection coming up.
Yep honestly.
Because just fun fact, when we watched that movie, we had a lot of feelings on it.
Yes.
But good feelings. Good feelings. And
good.
We'll save it for another episode. Wakanda Forever is a fantastic movie, by the way. Rest in peace, Chadwick.
Yeah, man.
But just overall, man, just Wednesday.
Wednesday, yeah, man.
Like I can't say enough. The aesthetic of it. Shout out to the directors. I know Tim Burton didn't direct every episode. There were some people that would switch off for certain ones, but you can totally see that they were just riding along with what he already started from the beginning of the show. The
creativity was found everywhere. They even have like subtle shots throughout like certain scenes where they showed like little Tim Burton Easter eggs.
Yeah.
And I thought that was great.
Yep, there's Easter eggs throughout the whole damn thing.
Yeah, man.
and I think it's so creative when they do that because it's like if you catch them when you're watching it, you have that, oh shit.
Right.
Like, oh shit, look at that. Oh damn, pause it. Like those reactions are just awesome. And I love when they do that.
I believe they had something like bats or something in the background on one of the walls, which referenced Tim Burton's Batman.
Yep.
And Something I also wanted to add, like the titles of like the chapters, the episodes.
Right.
They all included "whoa" in there.
They did.
Yeah.
They did. That's really cool that they did that. And then another thing is, man, the talent on the show is really good. The man who played Thing, Victor Dorimbantu, really good job.
Yeah.
Like, I thought maybe he was going to be mostly like a puppet or like a mechanic, animatronic, kind of. But they didn't do it like that. They actually had him wear like a whole, I think it was I don't know if it was green or blue suit, but it was a suit to cut him, right? And then he had his hand inserted into the prosthetic. So that all the natural movements those are all natural movements for Thing.
That's why it looks so smooth, man.
Yeah.
Give credit to Thing, man.
Yeah,
awesome.
like if they that man deserves to be in more stuff going forward because he did a really good job with that.
Fred Armisen.
Fred Armisen.
If you guys don't know who he is,
Portlandia.
My cockachoo choo tea. Oh my god.
Yeah, like Portlandia, SNL. There was a really funny Spanish show actually on HBO called Los Spookies. He did a really good job on that too. He did good. It took me just a little bit to kind of adjust to his version of Fester, but I liked it.
Yes, it grew on you.
It did. It did. It grew on me. It didn't take too long, and they didn't show him too much.
Right.
Which I kind of liked. Like, he came in at the right moment of where the plot was going. And then I just like to see, I liked that we were getting to see the relationship between him and Wednesday, because they're very close.
Right. And that relationship they have with Thing too. You know, the little argument they had from back in the day, little grudges.
Yep. And I like that. And I love when Thing argues because he always does a little tapping.
It's almost like he's throwing gang signs at you.
Basically, it's friggin' great. Or even the scene where they found him stabbed. That shit was crazy.
Oh, bananas. Yo, I love the fact they gave Fester the electrical powers he has. You know,
I love that. They kept it traditional with him, so that was really cool as well. Even the backstory with Gomez and Sheriff Galpin, where he thinks he was a murderer the whole time.
Yeah.
With the whole thing with Garrett Gates, which was like Morticia's back in the day fucking obsessive person stalker kind of thing.
Yeah.
I think that's always creepy as shit because that's a thing that exists in real life. So like I don't think that's something anybody should be doing or something that anybody should be going through because that's really fucking scary.
You could tell even Morticia even had some empathy towards him because she left some flowers at the tombstone and...
She did, because Morticia never really showed that she didn't not like him like that, but she didn't like him in the way that he thought, and he kind of carried it as if they were like a thing, and they weren't. Morticia was already seeing Gomez. Her and Gomez were already a thing, and he was just he couldn't take it. He became super obsessive. Of course, later we find out it wasn't 100% his fault because he was like poisoned.
Right.
So like it started getting him to lash out.
He wanted to poison the school, didn't he? At one point.
And I believe like that kind of backfired, and
for sure.
And then he kind of got screwed because I think it was when the thing broke. It like went into him, and then that's when he got very animalistic toward Gomez. And then when they made you think like, shit, maybe Gomez stabbed him. No, he didn't. It's actually Morticia that did it because they couldn't stop him.
Gomez just took the fall.
He took the fall for her, and that's love. He was in love with her, so he wasn't going to see her suffer. So I'm kind of really happy, you know, how they told that story. Like, he got cleared. Galpin was okay with them after that, because the way he was treating Wednesday as if the whole family was criminal, and they were never criminal. It was an accident.
That's all it was, you know? I get that.
So that was very interesting, because Sheriff Galpin was like really annoying to me, like for a while, because like he was just being a dick,
for no reason.
But now that we know, like what was causing him to act that way toward Wednesday and Gomez and stuff, and he like changed. It was kind of heartbreaking for him to find out about his son.
Yeah,
but it made sense. Like once you hear kind of like the backstory, like with their mom. Galpin's wife and stuff.
It just built up, and you know what? It gave Wednesday a good adversary.
For sure.
Yeah, because it was the mayor, and then also Galpin at the same time. So
And then also, like, they kind of made her therapist a little antagonistic at one point, too.
Yes, and she gave me vibes that she was the Hyde at one point, but I, took that out immediately.
It did. Because she wasn't, like, just the way she was talking about certain things with her in their therapeutic meetings, it didn't seem like a friendly conversation. It felt like there was a little tension there.
Right. It felt like more so she was trying to force stuff out of her, like information.
Right.
Possibly,
And it's crazy. Like, you even feel bad for Xavier at one point because he gets set up.
Basically by what? The Thornhill, right?
Yeah, and then Wednesday also because she called the cops.
Yeah.
And it's just super fucked up. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you, I would have been pissed off at her.
Yeah, man.
Like, I get that he kind of got over it because back in the day they had that mention. I'm not gonna even say backstory because we never really got to see it. It was just a mention that Xavier got, like, what was it, buried alive, and Wednesday helped him.
Right.
Not buried alive. Rewind that. He almost got burnt to life because he got stuck in a coffin, and then Wednesday actually got him out.
Right, and Wednesday saved him because she was they knew each other.
Yep,
so.
They knew each other back in the day. Again, kind of wish we could have got to see that.
That would have been cool.
Because it was just kind of like a slight mention, but hopefully, if there is a future for the show, which I'm 100% sure there is, they can bring him back and definitely give us a little flashback on what happened. Like, we could see it, how she saved them and whatnot, how they even met in the first place. Because I really always thought Xavier, to me, was a character that was there, but, like, was always kind of thrown in the background.
Yeah.
And if he has this connection with Wednesday, he should be more in line in the forefront. But I get it. There was a lot going on.
Probably character building, or eventually we'll see more of him in season 2.
Hopefully. Hopefully, because he has a really cool power. I like his power a lot. And I want to see more of him hanging out with Wednesday. Because that he could be a romantic interest to her. I mean, I feel like that's probably what they'll do.
They're kind of leaning towards it.
Yeah, they're leaning towards it in a way, but they're not forcing it yet.
Yeah.
And, I like that by the end of the season, they were on friendly terms again. Right. And plus, he saved her.
He did.
He did save her.
Hear me out, y'all. Tim Burton, please just, with this series, y'all could take my opinion if y'all want, but I don't want to, my worst fear is seeing the show go down the road that Riverdale did, or that certain other shows did, because they started throwing too much drama in there that was too teenagey and stuff.
Even just too much stuff. Like, with Riverdale, I think the issue was Riverdale started off as a very strong show with the first season, because more or less just a murder mystery,
Right.
And then, like, season 2 was kind of them just trying to figure out who shot Archie's dad, whatever. I can barely remember it.
Right.
And then after that, it kind of just went downhill. They started just introducing so many different things, and
they started reviving people.
Yeah, people started dying. They got superpowers at one point, wherever the show's at now.
So,
Riverdale, I don't know what happened to Riverdale. I was more of a fan of Sabrina anyways.
Yeah.
So, I felt bad that Sabrina didn't make a longer impact than it did.
I still haven't finished, but that's what this show kind of gives me vibes of too, is like a little bit of Sabrina in there, but the goth horror and
for sure, for the horror elements and the school element itself, because in Sabrina they have the whole Hell Academy that they go to, and you see all kinds of different things there. So it was definitely a great show. Give me Sabrina meeting Wednesday. I'd love to see that.
Oh, do you imagine how because Sabrina's really bubbly too, so I don't know if she would be like a little bit
the witchy side. I feel like Wednesday would appreciate.
Yeah,
she would definitely appreciate that side of her.
And Sabrina might like her investigative skills.
Exactly. So, Wednesday Sabrina crossover, make it happen. If you can make her happen on Riverdale, make it happen.
Yeah, for real, please.
But man, like, I think we've pretty much touched on everything except her friend Eugene, by the way. Shout out to Eugene, Mustafa. I apologize if I'm butchering the name. I really liked his character.
Yes.
And I liked his power.
Yes.
I loved it.
The whole show was based on like being outcasts, and many of them weren't, being looked at, and I love the fact that they gave him screen time, because he was pivotal in finding who the hideout was.
He survived.
Yeah,
he was a high attack survivor. And Wednesday cared for him.
Right.
She even went to go visit him in the hospital several occasions and really wanted him to wake up.
Yeah.
She felt bad, and I love it. And he helped her later too. Yeah. And that's my thing. Like, with her building all those relationships as the season went on, she gained a lot of allies.
Yeah, she did.
Even
without even wanting to.
No,
Yeah,
that's the thing. Like you,
that magnetic personality
for sure, bro. Like eventually, she just, she got people on her side, and I love it. Everybody's accepting of how she is, and she's already used to everyone else too.
Mm-hmm.
But man, yeah. I think that's all I have to say for Wednesday for now.
Yeah, same.
I really, again, Netflix, I really hope you guys give us a green light. If you do, we'll definitely mention that green light in a future episode to be like, hey guys, got renewed.
Yeah.
So
if you get to the end of the video, man, let us know what you guys liked about Wednesday. And,
for sure. Like, give us our comments, maybe your favorite storylines, maybe
Yeah.
your favorite characters, even if they're not Wednesday.
Exactly.
They don't have to be Wednesday. She's fantastic. We all love her.
Right. Give
But
us like ideas,
Yeah. Anything goes, man. Whatever you thought about the show, even if you didn't like the show, I respect your opinion. That's fine. That's fine. I'd like to hear why you didn't like it.
Yeah.
What bothered you about it, possibly, things like that.
We're working on other stuff too. We're looking forward to other stuff that other people are looking forward to, man. We're gonna do a lot of reviews, and we'll see you guys, I guess, on the next one, man. Thank you.
For sure. Thank you so much for listening. And again, if you haven't seen it, go watch Wednesday.
Go watch Wednesday right
It's
now.
totally worth the watch. All right?
All right, y'all.
Drew out later.
Yo.